From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It is Friday in LA. The weather is not the great. The weather is almost 100 degrees today, but it's all good. That's what summertime is here for. And you know what? You'd rather be hot than be freezing cold. So, hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. But we are here, and I'm ready to go ahead and start a great show for you guys this afternoon. And pretty much we got a great weekend ahead of us as well, too. We got a lot of football this weekend as well, too. We got NFL preseason. We got the CFB as well, too. And then, you know, we got the baseball that's in the heart of big pennant races and things of that nature. So, you know, it's nothing but a sports fantastic weekend. So pretty much let's go ahead and get into our first topic in hand. And my question is to you is, will Deshaun Watson start week one? Now, Deshaun starting week one, I would say that will probably be a 50-50 shot. But if you do want to win the football game, I would be starting the guy, to be that honest with you, because pretty much he is your franchise quarterback still. He's still here. He wasn't moved during the summertime, and I think that he's kind of back off of his stance a little bit, knowing that he still needs to play some football so he can still, you know, have those eyes on him, maybe get a mid-season trade this year. Or, you know, probably the Texans are thinking that, you know, why don't we just rest him until we can move him? But really, I think at the end of the day, they're just trying to get these cases sorted out with them, which will be probably come to about an end after week one or so of the NFL and everything like that, because they went straight to where they all wanted to go to, and that was straight to his pockets, because it would have been laughable in court to bring all those charges up on Deshaun Watson without really real proof of anything going on. You know what I mean? So pretty much he's kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place at this point. But you know what? The best thing he can do is try to get on that field and just show out and show how talented he is, and make sure that the Texans can get a king's ransom for him, so then he can move forward with his career, because their relationship is very on the rocks, and it's going to end very soon as well, too. So we just have to see where he lands at, but I would like to see him play some football this year as well, too, so then he can still show that he's capable of being a leader in this league and everything like that, because the situation that occurred with him is something that can really, really, you know, take you for a spin and really mess with you mentally. So hopefully everything works out for him in the end and he gets back to where he wants to be. I want to see him on the field, but hey, it is what it is. It's up to the Texans to make that choice. But Deshaun Watson is available for all fantasy owners as well, too. So you might want to throw him on your team just as a way to say, okay, once they throw him in, I have him here. And I know a lot of people feel like the Texans aren't going to be that great of a team. And once you start writing off a team, that's when they're actually going to prove you wrong. So I haven't been one of those people that said that the Texans are going to be awful this year. There's a lot of teams that have the awful written all over them, but you got to remember that these are professional athletes as well, too. So they'll show up on some Sundays. So hopefully, you know, the Texans are able to prove some people wrong. Right now, they are 1,000 to 1 to win the Super Bowl, and I think like 100 to 1 to win the AFC as well, too. So yeah, they don't have the odds on their side, but you know what? They still got the city of Houston. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we'll move on from there. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this weekend. We have some good stuff going on with a lot of games tonight as well, too. We got 3 games tonight, to be exact, and we got some good spots here as well. But I think that all in all, a lot of these teams will probably play the starters, but they're not going to keep them in for long. They just want to get the rust off of their guys, and it's funny that they're doing it still in the third week, which the third week was always considered the dress rehearsal week for teams. So this week they have a lot of starters going. The Chiefs announced that Mahomes would start today. Baker Mayfield is going to start for the Browns today as well too. Then you have I'm not today, but tomorrow. Then you have some games that are going to be going on that actually are going on today. So you have the Colts and the Lions going at it today. Carson Wentz won't be seen until week 1. I'm hearing that he will be ready for week 1 as well too. You probably get a little bit of Jared Goff tonight with the Lions. The Eagles and Jets, they both will probably be playing their starting quarterbacks tonight as well too, to get some more evaluation on their players, because the Eagles aren't set yet on who the starter will be, but most likely it will be Hurts. And then the Jets, you already know they're all in on Zach Wilson, and you got to give him as much reps as possible so then he can get comfortable with this thing. And then you have the Steelers going against the Panthers today, and I think you'll see some Sam Darnold today, a little bit of Big Ben. But if you don't see any Big Ben, we all understand why Big Ben showed out last week. So there's nothing really more for him to prove at all. So at the end of the day, this should be a pretty fun night of football, but we do have football for tomorrow night as well too. And so pretty much we are on our way to some big things, baby, big things. So that's exactly what we're looking into, and that's exactly what we want to do. So you guys, it's all in all, should be a really good week of football, and I do expect some big numbers from players that are going to be on the line of getting cut or getting held onto. But you already know that a lot of times at these teams, what happens is that they try to hold on to everybody, but they just can't. That's just the simple facts of football and everything like that as well too. So that's exactly what I'm seeing here, and that's exactly what I'm baiting for here. So we'll see how it goes, baby. We'll see how it shakes out. But we move on to our next topic at hand, and that's going to be the NFL preview for today. And our NFL preview for today is going to be a good one. We have the Seattle Seahawks here. Seattle Seahawks coming into this season, winners of the NFC West last year. Pete Carroll has had 8 seasons over 10 wins, and that includes a Super Bowl as well too, which was absolutely a magical night in New Jersey. Pretty much the New York City representative at the New Meadowlands in the first game that was done back east in forever, and has last game that's been done in a cold weather stadium. Well, he did do Minnesota. Minnesota is a dome as well too, but they were outdoors with it, and the Seahawks had a night to remember that night. And a lot of us kind of are stuck on that sometimes when we do go bet Seattle and things of that nature. But Seattle should be really good this season. But I know that they're going to run into some issues as well too this year. They have a tough division to go ahead and defend as well too. The Rams are right there with some good mojo. They got themselves who people consider the best quarterback in the division at this point. Well, the most seasoned when it comes to, quarterback play and everything like that. But he hasn't done much when it comes to the playoffs and winning a championship. But then you have Russell Wilson, a guy who's a perennial MVP every single season on the Seattle Seahawks. So that's not going to bother the Seahawks moving forward. And I think that the San Francisco 49ers, their season depends on health, if anything. And once again, Arizona, I don't consider Arizona, even though Arizona will win games this year, I don't consider Arizona in the top echelon of this group because who their coach is. They do have the talent to go ahead and win the division, but their coach won't allow them to do that because he's just not that good. So pretty much when you look at it, I see that Seattle should be still the team to be reckoned with in the NFC West, but they're going to have some competition here with the teams from California, from Northern and Southern California, with the 49ers and the Rams, who will give them some tough outs. And we already know coming down to LA is going to be a tough game for Seattle, and going to San Francisco is going to be a tough game for them as well too. But all in all, though, you do have to factor in that there could be some upsets in Seattle as well, because Seattle doesn't always hold on to it doesn't always hold on to those those leads, or sometimes they don't even have a lead at home sometimes and get blown away. And they've been upset as well too by lower tier teams in the NFL during the season. So those are things that you have to factor in about the Seattle team, and hopefully that they won't be too sloppy this year. But they, on paper, they look really, really good. But all in all, though, they do have to get through the season. And last year they started off very well, but then they didn't finish as well as they wanted to last season, and they did finish in a defeat. And first time I had seen in the Russell Wilson era and the Pete Carroll era, but really literally in the last 30 years, Seattle get beat at home. Nobody mentioned that as well, too. Seattle is a lights out team at home in the playoffs, and they literally just stunk it up last year to lose to the rival Rams. So, hey, at the end of the day, they're still here. They still have Russell Wilson. They still have Bobby Wagner. They still have Jamal Adams. They still have Pete Carroll as their head coach. So until you knock King off the throne, then it's going to be Seattle or better in this division next year. But I do expect this to be one of the toughest division in football, if not the toughest division in football. So pretty much with that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And I'll be right back at you.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune into Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. Now it's time to go ahead and get into Blue Crew Daily. The Dodgers went ahead and had a resounding win last night with a shutout from Mad Max, throwing 10 Ks last night, going 7 2/3 innings as well too. Back in the day, Mad Max would have probably been able to finish up that game, but in today's MLB, that's not going to happen unless you're looking real good and you probably up under 70 pitches or so like that. But all in all, though, he went ahead and he got a good win last night. There was a win that the Dodgers needed, and he walked into that situation like it was Game 7 of the NLCS or something of that nature. He was game on. He was focused. And you know what? As a Dodger fan, you get really excited about what can occur at the top of the rotation as well, too. When you throw back in Clayton Kershaw, who's going to have plenty of rest and plenty of time to get back next month, and then you have Mad Max, two, future Hall of Famers, 2 awesome vets. Then you throw in 2 youngsters with Buehler and Urias as well, too. That Dodgers 4 is going to be really, really, really good. And I think that what you tell yourself is that we'll put David Price in the bullpen because that's exactly where he belongs. I think that if you put him in a situation where you get him in there in the 6th, 7th inning, to get you 2-3 innings real quick, that will work out very well for the Dodgers in a sense. And this 4-man rotation might be one of the best you'll ever see in a playoff format if everything works out the way that it should work out. The Dodgers looked really good this week. And as we've been saying, that the Dodgers are now in playoff mode, and when they're in playoff mode, it's a different story with this team. It's not going to be the same hiccups that they've been dealing with all season. If you're a bad team, you're going to get beat down. If you're a really good team, be ready for, be on your P's and Q's the whole game. Even if you're up a run or two, the Dodgers can still come back late and beat you. This mentality has been with this team since actually Manny Ramirez was on the squad years and years ago when they had to make a push to win the NL West late in the year. Manny was right there to be the man for them in that situation. I think it's kind of rubbed off on the Dodgers because they haven't lost a division title since. So we look at the Dodgers moving forward tonight. They have themselves a very, very intriguing series. You know what I mean? I think that this is something that they can go ahead and, move forward and get some good wins at, but they're going to still have to be focused because it is the Rockies. The Rockies are a team that they've had their number literally for the last 5 years, but tonight that doesn't really matter because Colorado always sneaks in wins here and there, and especially in situations like this. The Dodgers have swept the Padres this week, while the Giants have swept the Mets this week. So they're literally still at a stalemate at 2.5 games. The Dodgers don't want to put too much pressure on themselves tonight. They're a big, big favorite tonight as well, too. So going to this game, take it easy. Try to go ahead and get yourself a nice win here. It doesn't have to be a blowout or anything of that nature, but you do have to go ahead and get yourself a nice win. And the Dodgers have been doing a lot of that lately, 14 out of the last 17. So they are very confident coming into this game tonight. And then you have a Rockies team that's actually won their last 6 out of 10 games, and they're playing much better baseball here in the second half of the season than they did the first half of the season. So that's something to look out for as well, too. And I know that there's some value there for a lot of bettors. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. It should be a really good game tonight. I look forward to it. And hopefully, we get the end result that we are looking for here in La La Land. All right. So now let's go ahead and move on and talk about the Friday preview. And up first, we're going to talk about the Rays and the Orioles. The Rays coming into this game as a minus 225 road favorite. And then you have the Orioles, who just got done snapping a very, very long losing streak with 2 big wins over the Angels, where they scored 10 runs to end the streak, and then they scored 13 yesterday as well, too. They have the good old vet Matt Harvey on the mound that a lot of people kind of don't trust in a sense. And I think that, I think they overjudge this guy a little bit. He does show signs of still being a pretty good pitcher, and that's why he still is getting contracts in the MLB as well, too. Now, Matt Harvey tonight, I think that he'll be good in this one because they just came off of a really, really bad series against the Rays last week, where the Rays just absolutely dominated them. Now they're back in Baltimore playing them this week, and I think that when you get a series like this, when a team just has been whooping you and then whooping you some more, then you should be able to step it up. But I'm not going to touch the Orioles at all to win just because they won the last 2 games in a row. That doesn't mean anything to me. That just means that they got tired of losing. You know what I mean? So pretty much what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go against the popular bet, which is going to be the over here. I'm going to take the under here. I think Matt Harvey's going to have a good night of pitching. I think McClanahan is going to be able to keep the Orioles at bay. And the Orioles scored 23 runs in the last 2 days. I don't think that they can keep that going in a sense. So I think that the under will be a good play here. So that's what I like a lot here. Now we got the Red Sox at the Indians tonight. The Red Sox, a team that's actually falling apart as you can see. They're 7 games back of being first place. At the start of August, they were in first place. So this is just a nice tailspin for a team. They're 2.5 games ahead of Oakland, and they're getting a little bit of help from the Yankees this weekend, who beat them last night. And it looks like the Yankees, who have been red hot as of late, the Yankees have been stellar in a sense. It's very, 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 very good. So, you can't sleep on the Yankees. The Yankees have won 12 games in a row and actually have won their last 14 out of 17 as well, too. They're just having a really, really good month as well, too. They're having one of the best months in baseball, and this is literally because they made a monster trade that everybody kind of cackled at and was like, well, this might be good for next year. Nope, it's about right now. The Yankees find themselves number one in the wild card, and they're only so many games back of the Rays as well, too. They're sitting 4 games back of the Rays, and they're red hot. So the Yankees would love to go ahead and overtake the Rays, which is going to be difficult because the Rays have held serve at first place for some time now. Even though they had to overtake the Red Sox, they were able to do so, and I think that they'll be able to hold on to that lead, but it's going to be difficult because you got the Yankees breathing down your throat, and you do have yourself a big game coming up, a big series coming up with this team in September. That lies ahead, so that should be some pretty good theater for the AL East, and I'm pretty much thinking that the Red Sox will hold where they're at and get to where they need to get to, meaning that they would be playing the Yankees in a wild card game quite possibly, and that is going to be something that will have a lot of media hype behind it. And actually, they have no more series left with the Rays for the rest of the season, so that's kind of brutal in a sense for this team, especially going into next month and everything like that. So we'll see how it goes. But this should be a good game tonight. You got the Indians coming in here plus 150. The Indians got a good win yesterday, 10-6, and they were able to win the game the day before, 7-9. So they 7-2. So pretty much, they're looking pretty good. They've won their last 6 out of 8 games, and they still have a possibility of making the playoffs, but it's a very, very slim chance at this point. They're sitting about 8 games back from that wild card spot. They're 63-62 on the season. I think the Indians just need to try to finish strong, try to finish with 75 wins or better this year, because making the playoffs is very, very, very doubtful. The White Sox are well ahead of them this year as well, too. So it's been a good learning year for the Indians, but all in all, I don't think that you should have expected so much from them with them getting rid of Lindor as well, too, sending them to the Mets. So tonight, I would say that this game would be another scoreboard watching game as well, too. And I think that's the best bet right here. And I think this game actually goes over because you got 2 pitchers who tend to give up a lot of hits and runs as well, too. All right, so we move on, and we had the Reds at the Marlins. The Reds actually swept the Marlins last weekend. When I was in Vegas, it seemed like it was like nonstop with the Reds being able to just dominate the team or figure out ways to win. Now, they didn't have a great series this week. They didn't gain any ground on Milwaukee. They're still 8.5 games back, but they are actually 2 games ahead in the wild card after overtaking the Padres. And it looks like the Padres are kind of nosediving a little bit because you have Philly nipping on their heels as well, too, with their 63 wins. And you also have St. Louis nipping on their heels as well, too. So that 3-4-5 category will sort itself out. The Mets have pretty much fallen off the face of the earth right now, so they're not chasing too hard. But Cincinnati knows that these are some must-win games right here to keep the momentum going and hold serve with that second playoff spot. That's going to be really difficult because either they're going to have to face off with the Dodgers or the Giants. So we'll see how it goes. But, man, I'm just telling you, you don't want to be in that second wild card spot if you're in the NL. But to the game, you got the Marlins, who played really good yesterday. I think that they can go ahead and transfer that effort into today's game. I know they're dead last in the East, but, they're not a bad last place team. They've won their last 2 in a row after dropping 7 in a row. But before that, they had won 4 in a row. So this team can win consistently and they can lose consistently. Right now, I think this team gets another win because after what happened last weekend, you should be prepared for what's about to come here at home. And I think that they'll play well tonight. So I got them winning this game with the plus 120 money line as well, too. All right, so we move on and we have ourselves another game tonight between 2 of Windy City's finest, South Side versus North Side. You got the Cubs plus 170 tonight. You got the White Sox minus 200 tonight. You got a White Sox team coming into this game that they've been absolutely crushing the Cubs all season. And the Cubs, they absolutely gave up on the trade deadline, getting rid of, some of their top tier players who helped them win a World Series a few years back. But we're not going to be stuck on that. It is what it is at the end of the day. And, the Cubs are moving on with their future, and those guys are moving on with theirs as well, too. Yeah, Keegan Thompson, who's a part of this rebuild phase for the Cubs. He's pretty good, 3-3 on the year, 2.42 ERA as well, too. 44 strikeouts over 24 walks. He had a decent game last time out. He gave up 5 hits and gave up 2 earned runs, walked 2, and only struck out 1. But before that, he was pretty darn good. But this guy doesn't go a lot of innings as well either. That's why we have the low ERA as well, too. So that's something to look at. And he's dropped his last 3 in a row as well, too. So that's something that you kind of might give you some jitters going into this one. But I think that you should not be like that going into this game, to be honest with you. I think that you need to have a positive mind and know that the Cubs are pretty much due to get a win over the White Sox at some point. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and peg them as my dog of the day today. And hopefully the Cubs can go ahead and put down a north side beating on the south side boys, or just continue to just keep getting romped by the guys that wear the black and white. All right, so we move on to the Battle of Texas, and we got Houston versus Dallas, and you already know what it is. The Houston Astros going against the Texas Rangers. The Rangers are the home team tonight at that pretty stadium in Arlington. So I always like the Rangers in this spot because the Rangers always seem to show up. So whoever is the bad team in the Texas series is going to be usually the winner of the game in a sense as well, too. So I like the Rangers tonight. They're plus 170, but I don't like them enough to say that, okay, I feel like they're going to win outright because they are going with the guy that is making his debut tonight. But they are very aware of how to deal with Odorizzi as well, too, who they always give a rough time to, even though he did strike out 6 last time they played. But they were able to get 3 runs and 4 hits out of that game as well, too, and he only went 4 innings in that spot as well, too. So I think that they can step it up tonight, the Rangers, and have themselves a really, really close game. So that's how I'm feeling tonight in Arlington, and hopefully it winds up being a Friday night special for the boys in Texas. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. But the Rangers plus 1.5 tonight. We'll see how it goes. And then we're going to go ahead and end this with the Brewers and the Twins. This used to be a good, fun little rivalry when the Brewers were an AL team back in the day in the Central. These guys used to go at it left and right. And this is considered their arch rival as well, too. But, they don't get too many of these games anymore with both teams being in different leagues now. And now you have Eric Lehrer, who's on the mound. And Lehrer is coming in here. Didn't do too well last time out against Washington. But he should be able to step it up today and get himself some good work and some good innings and everything like that as this Brewers team prepares for the playoffs. So it should be a lot of fun when you're looking at everything from a different type of scope for this Brewers team. They don't have to do much this month because they're not in the same shape as other teams that are leading their divisions. They're really well ahead of the Reds right now, and they've been dominant against the division as well, too. Like, literally, like the Braves probably have the best – not the Braves, but the Brewers probably have the best record when it comes down to, division rivals and everything like that, because I've seen them do nothing but dominate their opposition here in the Central this year. So tonight they go against an oldie but goodie. The Twins have been disappointed all season pretty much, but they found ways to be a big dog special as well, too. Tonight they're not a big dog. This game is kind of split right down the middle. So I like the Brewers tonight to actually win this game by 2 or more runs tonight. You get some value there as well, too, plus 120 and counting. So there it is with that. The Brewers and the Twins tonight. I like the 1.5 there. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take another quick break, and then we'll be right back to go ahead and go through some talking tickets. I have college football there for you guys as well, too, so you don't want to miss out on that. So make sure to stick around during the commercial break and get your money for the night. All right, so we'll be right back.
The Vigor app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Vigor is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Vigor.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right, we're back for your favorite part of the show, and that's Talking Tickets. And we're going to start with the games that are going to be happening tomorrow in college football week 0. I have a pick 4 for you guys for 26-1. I like the under in Champaign tomorrow with the Cornhuskers and the Illini kicking off the Big Ten play for the year. And then Fresno State tomorrow night plays against the lowly UConn Huskies, the independent school that just can't get right. I think that Fresno actually wins this game by 4 touchdowns or better. I don't think it will be an issue tomorrow to winning this game by that amount of points. And then you have UCLA and Hawaii facing off. I know a lot of people think the over is the play here, but usually in opening games and opening settings for UCLA, those games go well under. And so that's what I'm going to do is take the under here. I think that there's going to be a lot of, time getting chewed off the clock to make sure you're executing plays right and things like that, and to get the game over with in a timely fashion as well, too. And then you have New Mexico State as my big dog special. Tomorrow they are playing against UTEP, a team that I really can't trust with a 10-point spread. I think that's absolutely crazy because this team is not that good. And I know New Mexico State isn't that much better, but they do have a home game tomorrow. New things happen for teams sometimes when they get a team that they know that they can compete with. And I think New Mexico State's going to get the memo, and they're going to go ahead and get themselves a nice little win tomorrow night. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that's what I'm looking at from here, and that's what I like from here. So that's where we're going to go, 26-1 there with that ticket in itself. Now we go ahead and we move on, and let's go ahead and talk about the pick 6 for tomorrow. I already kind of ran through it for you guys as well, too. We do have the pick 6 set up in a good fashion today. I know this looks crazy, but you know what, though? We don't play these tickets just to make some chalk money. I don't play 6-1s to make 15-1 on them. A 6-1 is supposed to be a jackpot ticket in a sense. So going 40 or better, I don't think that that's a problem here. I think we have ourselves a pick 6 that's very, very hittable tonight, even though it looks like there's a lot of dogs here. It's 110-1. So that's pretty huge right there. We got under 10 with the Rays and the Orioles, over 10 with the Red Sox and the Indians, Marlins plus 120. The Cubs have spiked up to plus 185. We got the Rangers at home with the plus 1.5. And then we got the Brewers in the home favorite situation, but they're not heavily favored, but they still do have the 1.5 on the run line. And the run line is not big value to it, but it should be in a sense the way that the money line is working. But I think they're telling all of us that everybody's more comfortable with the run line tonight. So we're going to see how it goes, see how it shakes out. But that's 110-1, and that should be a very, very fun ticket for everybody to get a part of tonight. So we're all going to be scrambling for it, and we're all going to be looking out for it. So you guys enjoy. And then tomorrow I'll make sure to have these MLB plays for you guys as well too tomorrow as well. So, and I have some college football for you guys that I'll be spreading out over the Twitter and the IG. So you guys are the absolute best. I'll see you Monday. Jeff will be back with me as well too. We'll be talking some more football as well. We'll be talking some Tampa. It looks like come Monday, some Tampa football Monday. Then we got Tennessee, and then we wrap up with the Redskins. I gotta double check though, but we should wrap up with the Washington football team. I'm sorry, they might take me off the air calling them the Redskins. So there it is. I want to thank you guys once again so much for tuning in. You guys saw what was below. You guys can sign up with Prime Wave Media, become a client for the football season. You got college football and the NFL. And pretty much we are going to be having some great Saturdays and Sundays and sprinkled in some Thursdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as well, too, when it comes to the pigskin. So you guys make sure to get on it. And let's go ahead and try to make it happen for you, okay? And then, as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. If you got a hunch, bet a bunch. The movement is moving. So, once again, you guys have tuned into the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.